Welcome back to the Midnight Blue and Gold Launchpad. We have a brand new segment that Dan, Nate, and I thought the fans would want. And we're going to call it the Rocket Refuel. And it's just a quick 5-10 minute update on how your Rocket sports are going, how the teams are doing, and just some quick scores and some upcoming schedules. So I have with me Dan Rocketman Savage.
Yo, yo, yo.
And Nate Kresge.
How's it going, everybody?
And of course, I'm Kyle W. With that being said, I'm going to roll right into Dan Savage, and he's going to give you an update on how basketball's going for men and women's.
Yeah, so as the last podcast left off, the Rockets went up to Eastern Michigan and took down the Eagles 91-87. We kind of prefaced on the podcast that Toledo doesn't usually shoot well in that gym, and they had no problem scoring. The problem was Eastern Michigan lit it up as well. They shot 56% from the field, which is absolutely nuts. At that point, I was like, when I was watching the game, I was like, let's just foul them, because they went 3 of 9 from the free throw line. Toledo went on like a 13-3 run at the end of the second half, and that was it. So it's pretty crazy. Might have been looking ahead to the Sun Belt Challenge, where they played App State in front of a good crowd. Really annoying announcers. We played great. I tweeted on our X page, or I X'd on our X page, that this is the best 33 minutes of basketball I've ever watched Toledo play, and it was literally an instant classic. Sadly, at the end, we gave up a 9-point lead with under 3 minutes and lost it in double overtime. Raheem Moss fouled out, which was a big problem. And then in the coach's show on Monday, Kowalczyk said that he really wanted the ball in Sonny Wilson's hands. He only has 28 turnovers all season, so that's pretty great. And Cochran had a couple turnovers, and we had a good game. It's just, Lawrenson had 2 ticky-tack fouls. He came in and had 10 points immediately off the bench in the first half, but because he was in foul trouble, we just didn't really get to see him again. So we took a hard L, but that's all right. App State's great. They're leading the Sun Belt, and now we got a 6-day layoff, and we come home for Club Savage Friday night against the Ohio Bobcats. Should be a great one. It's a whiteout. Toledo won the first matchup pretty handily down there in Athens, so I'm excited. I feel like Toledo can score 100 if they can score 100 on App State. And App State just whooped on Marshall and only gave up 58 points. So I'm excited for the Toledo offense at least. Maybe send some more teams to the line and keep forcing turnovers. They did have 14 steals against App. And then on the women's side, we weren't even sure on the last podcast if Toledo was going to play last Wednesday against Central Michigan. The Chippewas only had 7 girls in their rotation, and they picked up some softball players. I think 3 of them to play. And Central's top girls are still MAC caliber, so I expected that they would run out of juice. And in the second quarter and fourth quarter, the back end of each half, Toledo whooped them. So 13-point second quarter and fourth quarter appearances there. They won 93-68, and then they had their own Sun Belt Challenge at home at noon, and that was tough because the men played App State at 1, so I was juggling trying to listen on the radio for one game and then get over to ESPN Plus for the App State game. I really like Jim Heller opposed to those app announcers on ESPN Plus. And that was kind of the opposite. We had a strong first and third quarter against ULM, and the third quarter is the quarter I missed, and that's where we separated. Toledo won 57-72. Pretty even showing from everybody. We fell in love with the three-pointer. I think we had 4 of 9 to start, and then ended up like 9 of 32. So the ladies take on Bowling Green Saturday at 6 down at the Stroh Center. That's a huge game. There's a bunch of seniors on Bowling Green's team, so they respect the rivalry. Like we said last time, Fleming was out before we even played him last time. She's their best player. So we'll see if Morgan Sharps can get us down there. They only average about 2,200 fans, so hopefully Toledo packs the place. Because the men's game was moved up to Friday, there should be a lot of midnight blue and gold down there in Wood County.
Thanks, Dan. And yeah, you're right. I mean, Toledo women's, the fans travel so well no matter what. And we're only 20 minutes down the road. We should pack a good section there. So
Sure.
thanks, Dan Rocket Man. And we're going to turn it over to Nate Kresge for some updates on some upcoming schedule for the baseball and softball teams.
Yeah, thanks, Kyle. So we baseball kicks off their season tomorrow, actually the 16th of February. Open up against a 3-game series against Mercer. Then they're on the road for a while. They actually don't come home until March 20th. The next series after that, they'll be down in Winthrop in South Carolina for a series the 23rd to the 25th. So that's what their next 2 weeks is looking like. And then everyone's, I know, looking forward to the game in April when they take on Michigan at Fifth Third Field. But that's not until April 20th. So we got a little while until that. Softball, on the other hand, has actually already opened up their schedule. Currently 2-1. Played in the Spartan Classic. Played Townsend on February 9th. Won that game 2-0. And then on February 9th as well, they actually played 2 games that day. Had a win against USC Upstate, the Spartans they are, and won that game 5-2. And then on Saturday, played a 3rd game and lost to Loyola Chicago, the Sister Jeans, and lost that game 2-4. So currently 2-1. Next week, they travel to Kentucky, where they will be in the Velvet Milkman tournament. They'll open up against IUPUI. And then also, it looks like they're going to play in the same day Western Illinois. And then scheduled for Saturday, Western Illinois again, and Murray State. So got a pretty big tournament there. And then opening up March, doing another tournament, the Purple Classic out in Arizona, where they play Pacific, Grand Canyon, Montana, New Mexico, and Grand Canyon again. So pretty busy schedule for the Rockets, and won't get to catch them until looks like April 6th. Not softball in Toledo. So we got a little while before you can see them at home. So
yeah, there's really no surprise that there's no home games in Northwest Ohio for a while.
It's a little cold.
Yeah, I know. I think last year Miami of Ohio baseball was supposed to host a game in late February, and it was like 32 and sleeting. Obviously, got canceled. It's like, what are we doing? Like,
right.
Actually, I messed up. March 29th. Sorry, Ball State is our home opener. I apologize for that stat correction there.
Okay.
Yeah, I would love to get to Scott Park. I've never seen a game there, which is embarrassing for my Toledo fandom. So I think I'm definitely going to get to a few baseball and softball games this year. They're both projected like middle of the MAC, so potential upside, and maybe we'll see our first, I think, baseball MAC champ since the 70s.
That would be great.
Yeah.
And the boys from Midnight Blue and Gold definitely could make it out for a few games this spring. I like a good baseball game. And my wife used to play softball, so I used to go on those grueling Saturdays where it was just game after game, but it was a lot of fun, to be honest. So, all right. Well, thanks, guys. And for you listeners out there, we plan on doing this in between our main episodes. So the off weeks, essentially, on our bi-weekly schedule, we're going to do a quick update, just like you just heard, and, keep you guys updated. So on that note, TOL.
EDO.